What's going on, guys? MLB 16, the show is right around the corner. On the screen, you can see some of the live streams that Sony San Diego is going to be putting on, who are the makers of MLB the show. They had the first one this week talking all about Road to the Show, and as you guys know, that's all I really care about. Obviously, there's a few other live streams in there that should be pretty good to watch, like the gameplay one should be good, showing some new animations, all that kind of stuff. So that should be interesting to watch too. For you franchise and Diamond Dynasty guys, you'll like some of the other stuff. I'm sure I'll watch almost all of them, if not all of them. It's pretty interesting to see the game before it comes out and kind of get their reasoning behind it, which is really cool. So the devs are actually part of the live stream, and they take questions and all that, so they can kind of explain some of the things that they've changed, why they change, etc., etc. But they've released some information about Road to the Show. First impressions for me when I first saw the video, and by the way, the video and the live stream for both of them, I think they live stream for like an hour of Road to the Show. Links to both of those videos are down in the description, so if you haven't seen them yet, you can check them out and then come back and see what I'm going to say about it if you want. But anyways, they've added some new things to Road to the Show. Some of them at first glance are like ridiculously stupid. That's probably way too strong of words to say, to be honest. I didn't give them a chance at first. I thought it was going to be cheesy, and I'm specifically talking about game perks. And we'll talk about that in just a minute. But after watching the live stream, I've changed my mind on the whole situation. At first, I was pissed because it seemed to be taking away from the game as far as like MLB The Show is all about realism. It's about being put in the game. It's about how baseball is. It's integrity and all that kind of stuff. And then they add game perks that give you perks that you can use during the game. For example, one of the perks is you start off every at-bat with a 1-0 count. So, I mean, crazy, right? So anyways, let's talk about some of the new features that we saw in the live stream. So the first thing is they've taken out one of the prospect games. So last year you played 3 prospect games. After the 3 prospect games were done, the scouts would give you some sort of rating, and then you'd go into the draft. So it's similar this year, except for the first game, they're taking that out and making it Scout Day, which basically is where you take some at-bats, like some practice at-bats. So it's basically just a warm-up pitcher that's throwing you meatballs, and you have to hit the ball. And obviously, the better you hit it, the better your draft stock goes. And then if you play the field, or let's say you're shortstop, they hit some ground balls to you, have you throw to first, have you do some double play type things. If you're in the outfield, you got to catch fly balls and that kind of stuff, throw to the right base, etc., etc. Just like the training was in last year's game. Similar type concept. You do just hitting and fielding and throwing. And obviously, the better you do, the better your draft stock goes up, etc. So then you have 2 of the regular normal Bowman prospect games where you play a full game, and depending on how well you do, your stock will go up or down, and then you do the draft. So it's very similar to last year. I like the Pro Day thing, though, or Scout Day. I think that's a cool addition. It's a little bit more realistic. They actually show like scouts in the stands with clipboards, and if you're pitching, they got this stinking radar guns and all that. I think it's super cool that they added that. So then we'll go into some of the other things that I've noticed that they added. The menu system's a lot better, a lot cleaner this year, it seems like. Every screen pretty much shows your character now, so you can always see what your guy looks like in the uniform that you're in, so I think that's cool. Speed of the loading screens and all that stuff, super improved. That's pretty cool. After each game, you can now just go right to the next game. If you're in a series, the next game loads instantaneously. So you say next game, and it starts right up. If you're not in the same series, there's a little bit of a loading time because it has to load in the other team or the other stadium, depending on if you're traveling or whatever. But the load times are much more improved. You can also spend your training points in the menu without exiting back to the main menu, which is cool. So you can keep playing, keep spending your training points, all that kind of stuff, all without ever going back to the main menu, which is awesome. Also, too, this year now, in Road to the Show, like after your play is over, you just hit X and it goes directly to your next play. It doesn't go back to the kind of simulation screen where it shows like what your next players and all that kind of stuff are doing, or the next people's at bats. you can skip past all of that, so your games go super fast. So I'm super excited about that. You should be able to fly through minor league stuff. So I'm very happy about that. We'll see how fast it really does load when it comes to being released. But so far, A++ on my scale. That's a huge improvement over last year. So let's get into some of the controversial stuff. The first thing that they've added is called Showtime. So basically, one time per game, offensively and defensively, you can hit the R2 button on certain plays. Let's say you're playing the field and there's a shot up the gap, and you start running towards it. You're clearly not going to make it there. You can use Showtime and sometimes be able to catch the ball. So it kind of goes like a mini cutscene where the camera angle changes, it goes into slow motion, and you have to move your sticks around to actually catch the ball. So that's kind of cool. And likewise, when you're hitting, you can activate Showtime, and the ball slows down, and you have to move your cursor over where the ball is going to be, and you have a better chance of hitting. To me, it's a little bit overpowered, but if you only get to use it one time a game, I'm not opposed to it. And you can actually turn this option on and off, so if you don't want to do that, you don't have to. On defense, though, it looks really cool. Like, it looks like it's very fun, and especially making a diving stop, or robbing a home run or whatever, to go into show motion like that and do that. I think that's pretty cool. So I'll definitely be experimenting with that. We'll see how it is with hitting. During the live stream, they used show motion a couple times while hitting, and they didn't even get a hit, so it doesn't look like it's super overpowered. So that's cool. But the most controversial thing that they've added that I can see is what they call game perks. So basically, as you're playing, you're earning points towards unlocking game perks. And some of the ones that they showed was one that seems super overpowered, but when you're hitting, you automatically always start with a 1-0 count. So every time you go up to the bat, you're ahead in the count already. To me, that seems crazy overpowered, but we'll just have to see how that goes. But if you really think about it, for most people that play the game, I'm going to just speak in generalities just because I can, because this is my video. But most people don't really work the count too much in Road to the Show, or in MLB The Show in general. Especially if you play like Diamond Dynasty, you just swing away. And by the way, game perks and show motion seem to be only Road to the Show, so you don't have to worry about people cheesing it in Diamond Dynasty or online franchise or anything like that. So don't worry about it. But anyways, the game perks, some of them are pretty cool, actually. Like, one of the game perks is, it's called like Sixth Sense or Mind Games or some crap like that, where you can actually tell when you're up at bat, you can tell the runner at first base to steal or to do hit and runs and stuff. So I think that's really cool. You could never do that before. You'd always have to rely on the coach. But like, if you're feeling something or whatever, you can use that perk to tell the base runner to run. And some of those perks you can only use one time per game, so you have to be very situational about it. Like, for example, that one, you only get it to use it once. And if he goes to steal and you foul tip it or foul it out of bounds or whatever, then he goes back to first and you can't use the perk anymore. So some of them, they certainly don't seem too overpowered. And what they talked about in the live stream is that they're going to monitor which perks are being used and how often they're being used to find out if there's any that are like way too overpowered, and maybe they need to tone them down a little bit. So they're definitely they definitely understand how people can look at it and say that, hey, you know what, these perks are kind of a little bit too much. So they're definitely going to keep an eye on it. They're cognizant of making sure that nothing's so overpowered that it makes the game not as fun as it used to be. And again, all those perks, they're always on and they're always there. Not always on, that's the wrong word. They're always there. You don't have to use them if you don't want to. So you have to, before the game, you have to equip which perks you want to use. So if you don't equip any, you can pretend that they're not even there and go just play normal Road to the Show. You could turn Showtime off and not use that at all. The perks to me seem interesting. In all reality, something like this had to happen eventually. I mean, Road to the Show has been pretty much the exact same thing since the beginning, and I've been playing the game since MLB 09. they add little things here and there. Like last year, they added, was it last year or the year before, they added the Bowman prospect games. I think that's super cool. But there's only so much they can do, right? So evolution in video games has to happen, especially when there's no other competition for baseball games. 2K is gone now. They have to try to do new things. They don't really have to. They can just put out the exact same game every year and not innovate at all, and people would still buy it. But after a while, people want something different. They want something new, and I think they're at least trying. So I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt this time. Like I said before, at first, as soon as I heard about those game perks, I was like, this is not a very good idea. This is turning it more arcade than sim. But after watching the live stream a bit, I've definitely changed my mind on it. I'm going to go into MLB 16 and use all that stuff with open mind. And I think it's going to make the game a little bit more fun, a little bit more exciting, because then you have to not only manage your player, but then you have to manage what perks you use and when you use them and what situations to make it the most effective. So I think it just adds a little bit more strategy to the game, and I'm kind of excited to see it. So those were the main talking points. I'm sure there was a few other things that I'm forgetting, but those were the main ones that I wanted to talk about. So if you guys watch the video and watch the live stream, let me know in the comments, what do you guys think? What do you think of my opinions on it? I know there's you either love it or you hate it. There's very little middle ground there for Showtime and the game perks, so I just kind of want to get you guys' opinion on that. Also, as far as me posting videos for MLB 16, I'm leaning more and more towards I will definitely be doing it. Definitely is not the right word. I'm definitely leaning towards it. I haven't made up my mind exactly yet, but more than likely I will be posting MLB 16 Road to the Show on this channel. I'll definitely be live streaming, though. I plan on taking a couple days off when a game comes out, so that Tuesday and Wednesday, and live streaming quite a bit both of those days. So make sure to follow me on Twitch if you haven't already. Links down in the description as well. And like I said, leave a comment. Let me know what you think of what we've seen so far in MLB Road to the Show, and anything else you guys are hoping to see in the game coming up. All right, guys. Hope to talk to you guys later. See ya.